Hey guys, what's up? This is David, and welcome to my channel. I know I don't say it a lot, but if you want to hear more about what I'm doing and where I'm going and all of those types of things, then like and subscribe and ring that bell and you'll get notification. I actually got a new subscriber today or last night, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Um, Now, I have another channel that I support where we go places all over the world and we basically do a travel channel and we talk about all the places we go and we do the whole thing and we video everything and do all that. That's a lot of work. This is a live stream channel that I do talking about miscellaneous things. And I'm going to stop talking about miscellaneous things. I'm going to start channeling my attention towards specific things. And that's not going to happen today, but I'm going to start talking about very specific things um, because it's good for the channel to have some consistency and stuff like that. I don't need to be talking about politics all the time. It's very upsetting. It's very stressful. And I really have a stress-free life, and I don't, I'm getting to the age where I don't need to be bothered by all that stress. So today, what I wanted to talk to you guys about is um, I wanted to talk about something personal. Um, okay, so I have kids, but my kids are adults, right? And many of you who are my age, you have kids as well. Sorry, my contact is acting like it's going to come out or something. You have kids as well. Now, I'm going to share something personal that I kind of regret. I don't have a lot of regrets in life, but I kind of regret this. When I was younger, I grew up in a rural community, and in that rural community, we had a lot of black business owners around us. And so what that made me is that made me want to be a black business owner when I grew up. So when someone said, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Well, I thought about doctors and lawyers and people, but I didn't know, or business people, but I didn't know how to get into any of that. I just knew that I saw a lot of black business owners around me. They seemed to be doing well. They were always laughing, having a good time. They were very happy. And so I get to the age around 15, 14 or 15. 15, let's go with 15. I'm about 15 years old and I'm in Upward Bound, and my director takes all of us, which was about 125 kids in his two programs he was running, and he took all of the kids and some supervisors and chaperones to the Bahamas. Now, being in Florida, I was in Florida. Being in Florida, going to the Bahamas was no big deal. But for a poor kid like me, going to the Bahamas on a summer vacation was unheard of, especially with 125 of your closest friends, right? So we go to the Bahamas, and the first thing I notice is all these black people. I'm looking around and I'm thinking, what are all these black people doing here? I'm in the Bahamas, right? Now, as an adult, I know how black people got in the Bahamas, and I know, how everything was set up in the Bahamas. But as a kid who was fresh off the farm, um, so to speak, I didn't know anything about the Bahamas. So I get over there and I find out all these black business owners are everywhere. I mean, the stores, the shops, the pharmacies, the malls, the everything is run by black people. And you think about that as an adult, you think about that, you say, wow, as a kid, I'm seeing this for the first time. Now, my community had like I said, my community was surrounded by black business owners. I lived in a very segregated area. Black people lived over here, white people lived over there. So we had our own stores, our own shops, our own thing. And if my grandmother wanted me to go to the store and get something, I went to the five and dime. I got what she wanted. I came back home. Sometimes I didn't need money because she knew. She said go up there and get from the store and come back. And she didn't give me any money. So I got to go up there and tell the man, Grandma said send her this, and he'd send it. No money. Why? Because when she would pay him later. She didn't send me with no money. She would pay him later. That's how we did things back then. Those were the good old days, right? I don't know. I don't know how that worked. Anyway, I get to the Bahamas and I see all of this and I'm astounded by it. I'm like, black people run everything here, you know? Because in Florida, where I grew up, white people ran everything except these little small shops here and there. So, wow, this was new. But that gave a lasting impression on me and made me think, wow, one day I want to be the type of guy I can travel and I can go places. Now, fast forward all those years, I've been to 73 countries and not just been there, I've lived there. Okay. I've slow traveled through all these countries. Some I've stayed in 3 months, some I've stayed a year and a half, some I've stayed a month at a time. I spent 6 months in the Caribbean, that kind of thing. I just travel like that. This is my lifestyle now. But back then, those were just my wishes and hopes and dreams. And those things left lasting impressions on me and it changed my mind. So back to the regret. The regret is I regret that I took my kids to Disney World every year. I should have been taking my kids to the Bahamas. I should have been taking my kids to Jamaica. I should have been taking my kids to Africa. Why? So that they can learn, so that they can see, so that they can learn the difference between America and all these other places. Those would have been much greater, much more exciting experiences for them than just taking them to Disney World every year. But we get accustomed to doing these things and not thinking about why we're doing them. We just say, "Hey guys, we're going to go on vacation. Let's load up the car and go." But it wouldn't have costed me any more to load my kids up and take them on a cruise to the Bahamas or to Jamaica or to the West Indies or to whatever, Portugal, Spain, Africa, countries in Africa, okay, Rwanda, Kenya, Mauritius, you know, South Africa, different places, Namibia. I could have taken my kids to all of those places. My kids are adults now, they can go on their own. They can set up and go on their own. They got money, they got jobs, they can go on their own. But what I'm saying is it's a regret because when you instill these things in your child, you're teaching them history, you're teaching them culture, you're teaching them values, and they get to learn it and they get to pass it down to their kids as well. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today because I want you to think about some of the things we do as families. And I want you to consider instilling something like that into your family reunion or into your, you know, travel into your immediate family around Christmas instead of sitting around eating for Thanksgiving. Take a trip to Rwanda, take a trip to Kenya, take a trip to Mozambique, take a trip to Ghana, take a trip to Mauritius, take a trip to the Bahamas, take a trip to Jamaica, take a trip to Martinique, take a trip to, you know, the Dominican Republic or to Mexico. It doesn't cost any more than going to Disney. Disney is expensive. It doesn't cost any more. You just got to look at how you're spending your money, right? So I just wanted to share that with you guys because as I think about my kids now, my kids are adults, they're doing their own thing, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful they're alive and they're doing well. And but at the same time, those are things I didn't think about. I was too busy with my career. I was putting food on the table. I was um, buying homes and fixing them up and doing that kind of stuff instead of taking my time and taking the kids places. And so, for you guys who have children, like I have my brother has young children. One of my brothers, his kids are adults. My other brother, his kids are still young kids. If you have young kids, you could take them and instill these things in them and teach them these things. They're not going to learn these things in America. They're not going to see these things in America. They're not going to experience things. They're not going to experience their culture in America. They're not. They're going to see some of it, drips and drops of it here and there. And it's sweet and it's wonderful, but it's bigger. It's bigger than that. And that's what I mean. The diaspora is way bigger than, I mean, we have a small portion of it in America, but the black diaspora is huge. There's 1.4 billion black people in the world. And you're still in a position where your kids are young and you could tell them where to go and they go. My kids are older now. I can't tell them where to go and they go. Yeah, I tell them where to go and they say, I go where I want to go, you know. And I understand that as well. I understand that as well. So I wanted to share that with you guys. That's just a personal thing that I was thinking about. And I was like, wow, I see these. There you go with the damn, there they go with the bikes again, right? As soon as I start recording, somebody jumps on a bike or jumps in their car. So um, I just wanted to share that with you guys today. If you want to hear about where I am and what I'm doing and what I'm up to, like and subscribe and ring the bell, and you'll get a notice when I'm posting. I'm trying to stream every day, but I'm also going to start making some videos and posting them online, and we'll see how it goes, you know. But if I'm in a position where the internet's good, then I'll just post something and people can hear about it and see about it. Right now, I'm touring in Ghana. I'm going around to the different. There's a lot of history in Ghana, so I'm going around to the different places, learning the history that happened here in Ghana, like Jamestown and all the castles. They have slave castles here. It's hard to, but I'm learning. I'm learning about what happened here. You know, and so I'll be talking about some of the things I'm learning. I won't talk about everything that I'm learning because some of that'll be done on my other channel, on our other channel. But this is more of just a one-on-one, things that come up, things that are on my mind. I'm going to be talking about business issues. I'm going to be talking about different things because I know people in America are in that phase where they want to make some money. I get that. I've been there. I've owned a business. I've worked for other people. I've done this. And so I'm going to be talking about some of that as well. Um, just different things that come up. I'm going to be writing about it as well on my blog. So there's going to be different things that I'm going to add to this, but this is just my own thing. So I'm just going to, we have a travel blog, my wife and I, but this is my own thing. And I'm going to be talking about issues mainly that focus on our community, but I'm going to be talking about different things, right? I'm going to be talking about different things, business things or motivation things, or, just how the world works in general, how our minds are supposed to work, right? Because I don't believe that I would be in this position if my mind didn't lead me here, right? I didn't, I believe my mind led me here. Something in my mind said go, and we went. Because I could have said, no, my business is doing well. I'm going to stay here and make some money. It took too long to get this business off the ground. I'm just going to stay in America and grind it out and make as much money as I can make. But I saw that that was not going in the right direction. So I left it alone. And not that it wasn't making money. Money is good. Money is a good thing sometimes if it's the right kind of money. But you don't know how much life you got left, right? There's things you want to do in life, and you don't know how much life you got left to do those things, right? So basically, if I hadn't left America, I wouldn't have experienced all these 73 wonderful countries I've been to so far. Okay. And I wouldn't be able to travel the way we've been traveling. Like, see, give you example. When people go on vacations, they leave America or Canada, wherever they're from. They leave America, they go on vacation, then they come back. That's very expensive. I don't travel that way. I travel from America to a country, and then I just keep going. And then I go to the next country and the next country and the next country and the next country and the next country. And here I am 73 countries later, right? So there's a different way. There's a different lifestyle. And this is my lifestyle. So right now I'm in Ghana, but I've been to many places this year. And so the journey continues. But like I said, if you like this kind of content, you want to, because I don't do all the fancy stuff on this channel, right? I'm just using my computer. I'm not using a fancy camera. I'm using my microphone because the microphone on my computer is horrible, horrible. I'm not doing any framing or lighting, or I'm not doing any of that. I come on and say what I want to say, and then I go. Now, when I actually have to film some video and put it on, that's a whole lot of work. And I'm going to do some of that, but I'm not promising that. I'm not promising that when I do that, that's extra. Okay. I'm not, I'm not promising I'm going to do that every day because it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of editing, a lot of data, a lot of storage, which my computer's too sorry to have a lot of storage on it. Okay. I bought this little computer just because it was lightweight and I could travel with it. It was the worst decision. I'm going to talk about that soon. That was the worst decision I could have ever made. Is I bought a cheapy Apple computer that didn't have any storage in it. And it's an Apple trick on these computers that we'll talk about this more. They don't upgrade. You can't add some data to this thing. You can't add any storage to this thing. What you bought is what you get. you know, you can't add any more memory to this thing. You know, what you bought, that's what you got. So, such is life. You make mistakes. This computer to me was a mistake. My wife thinks it's kind of zippy and it worked good, really good. And I tell her sometimes it does, but the thing is, you can't add anything to it. There's no bells and whistles on my computer. Okay, the computer I had at home was had a lot of bells and whistles. Trust me, big old screen on it, lovely, beautiful, amazing. I gave it to my daughter because I couldn't travel with it. Spent all that money on that computer. It was I gave it to her in the box, brand new, because I couldn't travel with it. Craziness. But hey, at least at least she gets to use it for her music business because it's one of the best computers in the world to have for music. So she went to school for music, in fact, and the computer she has at home is better than the computer they have at music school, or either the same kind or better. Because I bought it for my business and never really used it for my business because we I closed my business and gave it to her. Live and learn, right? Anyway, I'm grateful she's got it and can use it, and not sitting in the closet somewhere, get, collecting dust. Anyway, talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.